Hey everyone, so you might be wondering where the baby is right now, but he is sleeping in our room. He sleeps in a little bassinet right now, kind of by our bed. So that's where he is, but this is his nursery. So basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was my struggles that I had during my pregnancy. Some of the hardest things for me were like smells. So if you don't know, I worked as a barber on a military base, and sometimes those guys get really stinky because they're running and they're busy and they're sweaty, and it happens. We're in Southern California, it gets hot. Um, so that was really hard for me. I managed a barber shop on base, and so I was there 5 days a week, if not more. Um, and the smell was really hard sometimes because some of them have stinky heads, and it's not always the easiest thing to do when you're pregnant. So smells at my work really were hard for me, especially in the beginning. I had like a solid 2 months where it was just awful. Like I couldn't smell bacon. Jordan would be cooking bacon in our kitchen and I would have to leave. I literally locked myself in my room, turned our essential oils thing on, put a towel underneath the door. Like I could not smell bacon. Any kind of red meat just was like the worst thing ever for me. So definitely bacon. My work had issues. Even like bad breath from guys at work would be terrible. Um, I mean, obviously not all of them, but sometimes it's morning, they have coffee breath. Even just if you brush your teeth and you had coffee, like that killed me. So those were some really hard things to get used to, but I will say when I first found out that I was pregnant, I was expecting my period and I'm like, why? That's kind of weird. I feel like really good and I'm supposed to, when you get your period and you don't feel great, I'm like, I'm supposed to be like feeling crappy and I feel awesome. Like, what is this? So then I took a pregnancy test and I was pregnant. I was like, oh my gosh. So I would say for the first like 6 weeks that I was pregnant, maybe 8 weeks, I felt great. Awesome. Felt fantastic. And I guess that's because your progesterone levels are skyrocketing. Um, and then they kind of are like, hey, you're pregnant now, so let's chill. So after about, I would say the 8 weeks was up, that's when the smells really started to get to me. Other than that, it wasn't too bad. I did have morning sickness. I hate throwing up, and I threw up at least once a day. I remember my mom telling me, sorry, that's Ella, if you see her little tail going by. I remember my mom telling me that she threw up every single day when she was pregnant, and I was thinking she was being so dramatic, and there's no way that she actually threw up every day. But now I believe her because I threw up every day. And then once we got into the third trimester, it was like no big deal. I was just wobbly. I fell once and I went to the ER. I will tell you guys a story about that later on if you want. But I mean, I was just like a wobbly, big, huge mess. I only gained about 20 pounds during my pregnancy. I do think that was because I was a little bit heavier before, but I wanted to try to really not necessarily like eat healthy, but I wanted to be very conscious of what I was putting in my body. So like I didn't have any kind of deli meat, no sliced turkey, no anything. I was like petrified of getting listeria, which is like a crazy, I don't even know one in how many chance of getting, but I was just not wanting to risk it at all. I just wanted, for me, I wanted to make sure that I could do everything that I was aware of, so that I could make sure that if something was wrong with him, or if he had a learning disability or whatever the case may be, that I did everything in my power to make sure that he was healthy. So I really watched what I ate as far as like making sure no hot dogs, like nitrates, no cold cheeses, well not cold cheeses, but no soft cheeses, stuff like that. And like I said, everybody's totally different. Some moms, I know my mom was like, I had deli meat and I had all this stuff, and people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were not supposed to have soft cheese. Hey, Ella. She's bringing me a toy. and their babies are perfectly fine. But I just wanted, in my head, I just wouldn't be able to live with myself if I knew that I didn't do everything in my power to make sure that he was okay. So I think that was a struggle during my pregnancy too, was just worrying, just making sure that I was doing everything that I could to make sure that he was a healthy baby boy. Some of the struggles that I also faced were just how different your body changes. And I mean, my boobs didn't really get any bigger, which is a whole nother story, but the lactation consultant was like, you know, your boobs didn't get any bigger during your pregnancy. I'm like, no, they didn't. They stayed the same. So I don't know what that's about, but the way that they measure you, they like, well, sometimes depending on your doctor, will take a tape measure and measure around your stomach. That was a little bit uncomfortable because you are getting bigger, and if you are kind of aware of your body image, and not maybe aware, but just like concerned more about your body image, that can be a little bit hard. But I mean, for me, it wasn't something that I was like dwelling on, because I'm like, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna get big, it's just gonna happen. However, I did not realize how huge I was until I look back on pictures. My face was so swollen, you guys. My nose, I look like Fiona from Shrek. I mean, I did. There's no denying that. It was huge. My face was so swollen. My legs got really swollen at the end. My mom was like, you need to go make sure, you need to show them a picture of your face and show them that your nose was not that big. Beforehand, and I was like, it's fine, it's fine. I was a little bit worried about preeclampsia, about diabetes during pregnancy. I was fine with either of those. I just had swelling. And sometimes that happens with people, sometimes it doesn't. I really wasn't taking that much salt intake. It was just something that my body decided that it needed to do. Other than that, pregnancy was great. I really did feel like stronger. I felt like, I don't know, respected, I guess, because you walk in and like people hold doors open for you that normally wouldn't, or like they're like, oh, she's pregnant, and I don't know, it was kind of nice. Plus to know that you're like joining this whole nother like club of moms is really cool, and you have things to talk about with people. I know for a long time, for me, I felt like I didn't have anything to talk to people about, because I'm like, yeah, I'm a military barber on base, and they don't really understand that. They think you just do buzz cuts all day long, when really you're doing fades, which are some of the hardest men's haircuts. I moved a bunch. I just was kind of done talking about stuff. I wasn't really excited about anything. And so I think being a mom, really, I found my purpose. And like I said in my last video, I wanted to be a mom more than anything. So now that I am, and I have all of my stories to tell, I'm so excited. Let me know what you guys want to see next. If you have any suggestions, as always, please let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!